about 1950s, who are usually in three-piece suits, who are usually very well groomed, who are all Caucasian, going into men that are much more ripped, more slender, more muscular. Dolce & Gabbana has some of the most offensive ads you will ever see. If you want to write people and tell them how disgusting they are, I highly suggest Dolce & Gabbana. This is the detergent commercial. It's kind of like, when you watch the ad, it's kind of like a striptease, because it's slowly coming off, and they're like showing the guy, and he's all like, even like he's waiting. There's also this other advertisement, which I came across and was floored by. It's a naked man laying on a beach, and he's all glistened up. And he has travel Scrabble, which is about this big. Look at his private regions, with the Scrabble tray hanging down his leg. And I was like, what? This is a family game. What is happening? This is a family game, and it's on a naked man pretending that it's his privates. So there's certain things that they're selling when they're selling this. How much more fun Scrabble could be if you're playing with this gentleman who's naked on the beach. Does anybody ever go into the store, and it's probably my least favorite store in most malls, the Main Bench Pub, familiar with that store? The first thing you do when you walk into that store is there's literally, it may not be this big, but the size of the doors, image of a half-naked man, usually with his hands down here so you can see his pelvic muscles. He's ripped, he's shredded, and he's like 16, something weird. And then you see the woman standing next to him, and she has on her cute little jean skirt and her bikini top, because again, we wear that a lot to work and school. But again, there's these messages about what's ideal. He's usually towering over her in height, in size. She's usually smaller. They both have grins on their face or submissive looks, depending upon shape and size. So really, the next time you look at an image, see what they're selling, because they're not selling, when you walk into Abercrombie, the shorts and the bikini top. I can guarantee it. They're selling sex. They're selling acceptance. They're selling love. They're selling a whole bunch of other things that if you just have this product, you will become this. So let's talk a little bit about more from a diagnostic, because I think it's important to understand the impact that society has on the development of eating disorders for both men and women, because it's there. Nobody is immune. We live in a toxic culture. We live in a culture that tells us that we are going to be much more acceptable if we look acceptable. And that's usually my biggest beef with The Biggest Loser, is this whole notion that your life is going to be way better when you lose 150 pounds. That's not to say that life isn't going to be better. You may be sleeping better because you no longer have sleep apnea. Your type 2 diabetes may be under control. You may be able to play with your kids. All of that is fantastic, but you don't have to be a size 2 to do that. I mean, you don't have to be a muscle man to do that. All of those things are capable within a normal average body. But this is a preoccupation with the idea that one's body is not sufficiently lean or muscular. And we'll talk about this a little bit, but one of the gender differences between men and women is that women strive to thin down, men strive to bulk up. And we tend to see that overall in the eating disorders. That's not to say that there are not men who try to lean down as well. But there tends to be much more of a focus on lean and muscular than for women, where it's just lean. Right? I'll talk to a number of my patients who don't want to lift weights or build any muscle because it weighs more on a scale than if they didn't have any muscle. And there's this idea that I have to have a number, so I don't care if it's fat or muscle, I just don't want it to be higher than said. The men who come to me for treatment are not presenting with their eating disorder, they're presenting with their co-occurring disorder. So I'm having a lot of depression. And as we begin to talk about it, a lot of their depression stems from their sense of self in their body and feeling like I need to look a certain way. A recognition of, wait, maybe that, diet you're on isn't the healthiest thing. Or we know from research that these 6 bullet points are most of the commonalities in men with eating disorders. That there's usually a prior obesity in childhood. There's a higher correlation with homosexual and bisexual men. There's a couple of thoughts on this. There's a lot of research being done on this in this patient population specifically. A family history of obesity, exercise issues with specific sport involvement. This tends to be more judged sports, more body-specific sports than team sports. Comorbidity,